Sunday Ticket is brought to you by Expedia.com. Don't just travel, travel right. Travel right.
Welcome back to hot, sunny Jacksonville, where the Bills hold a commanding 21-7 lead at the half. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. A year ago, the Bills were near the bottom of the NFL, allowing about 25 points a game. So far, Steve, this season, in a game and a half, they've given up 7.
Well, it's all about that defense. They've played very well. The only time they gave up a score was when they got bad field position after a botched fake punt, and the Jacksonville Jaguars capitalized on it. They came back the next series, got a stop on a great play from Antoine Winfield, and really the defense has been the story for the Buffalo Bills today. And then the offense, with less than 2 minutes to go, got a touchdown to ice it and send them in with a 14-point lead.
I talked to Tom Donahoe, the man who runs the Bills organization, and talked about his defense and Winfield's play. He said our defense is still coming together. There's a lot of new guys, but he said in 5 or 6 games, he said this could really be something. I think it's something already.
We noticed in the run game against the Jaguars that the defenders were over pursuing and not coming into their gaps exactly right and leaving some space for Fred Taylor and Toefield to turn up the field and get some yards. When those linebackers trust each other and trust that they're going to have support around them, they'll be more disciplined and the run game will be shut down.
Now you take a look at the halftime stats. One big stat is the yardage per attempt, and Bledsoe is averaging 12 yards per attempt. That's not up there, but that's a tremendous factor to winning.
Outstanding. And Mark Brunell's averaging less than 2. He's had 3 pass completions that went for negative yards. That'll kill a quarterback's passes per attempt ratio. But Drew Bledsoe has got a 137 rating. Yeah,
you said he was running in a pasture with his 55-yard play to Bobby Shaw. That'll boost your average.
He has had no pressure on him whatsoever. When he has had pressure, he's had 1 or 2 steps up in the pocket. No desperation whatsoever in Drew Bledsoe's play in the first half at all. If Jacksonville wants to get back in this game, they're going to have to force Drew Bledsoe to make some bad throws.
Ryan Lindell ready to kick off. So the Bills with a 14-point halftime lead. The Jaguars have to dig out. And now LeBrandon Toefield runs it back, crosses the 20, crosses the 30. And LeBrandon Toefield's not done till he's all the way out to the 41-yard line. Terrence McGee brings him down for the Bills, but it is a 36-yard return. And you can't overestimate the heat index and the effect it has on a game like this. And it certainly works in favor of the Jaguars for the final 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think sometimes the heat is overrated, but when you get a game where a team is running the football consistently like the Jaguars did in the second quarter there, it's going to take its toll. And one thing the defense for the Bills can do is to rotate the defensive line in and out. Make sure they have fresh men on the field as often as possible.
I think the heat is overrated unless you have to play NFL football in it. And it can wear you out. Here is a throw downfield, beautifully connected to Kyle Brady. So Brunell comes out pitching. They wanted to force Brunell to move right if they could, the left-hander, but he's getting off to the left and making strikes.
When Mark Brunell can stand in the pocket, there isn't anybody in the league who's more accurate. Watch here as this ball is right between the defenders. Kyle Brady catches it, turns up. Kyle Brady is a huge target. And you can look for the Jaguars when they come out after halftime to make adjustments offensively. You can bet they're going to have a really good first series, and you've got to stop them here.
J.J. Stokes goes wide to the top of your screen. He's a deep ball threat. First down. Brunell's again cocks that left arm, going for the distance. He's got an open man, and it's broken up in the end zone. It was Matthew Hatchett going deep. Raylo got there in time. We saw him helped off earlier, Steve.
Yeah, he got caught up a little bit in the play action, and the receiver got behind him. And watch, in the back middle of the end zone, Prelo right in the middle of the field. You see how he hesitated before he turned and ran. He's right there, but watch, he doesn't look. What he does is he looks at the eyes of the receiver. When the receiver's eyes get big, he knows the ball is right there. That's how he knows when to reach up and bat the ball away.
So Lawyer Malloy told us he saw David Patton's eyes get big in the end zone last week. The Patriot receiver, when they broke that play up, that was intercepted by Nate Clements. And now a run by Fred Taylor, weaving his way inside the 30. So the Jaguars coming up with the running play, and Taylor, who can go all day long. He's from Florida, played collegiately for the University of Florida. That injury a couple of years ago that knocked him out of 14 games. He actually tore a tendon from the bone in his groin, and they were 4-10 the 14 games he was out. And he said he really worked with a sports psychologist to help him to get back, because he was so trepidatious coming back last year that he would re-injure himself.
It was a devastating injury, and I don't think he was all the way back last year. He really struggled with it in his first full year back.
Taylor gets his 11th carry of the day. He's gained 65 yards on 11 carries, and that brings up 4th down and about 3. So now it's all on Mark Brunell. He loves it here. Brunell is listed at 6'1". He's not that tall.
Now they're going to go for 3.
Exceptional strength. He's bench pressed 450 pounds.
It looked like for a moment that Brunell was going to stay out there and try and pick up the first down, but I think wisely Jack Del Rio is going to go for the field goal.
Be about a 44-yarder from where the hold will be. This is the rookie Seth Marler, who, as you mentioned, is hitting 55 in preseason. Missed once today. And at this time, he drives it through. And on the opening possession of the third quarter, the Jaguars get points, and they now are back in the game, down 21-10.
Top teams in the SEC collide. First, Tennessee heads to the Swamp to take on Florida. Then Georgia battles LSU. A doubleheader next Saturday on CBS.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Drew Bledsoe with a quarterback rating so far in this game of 137.2. He has completed 12 of 16 for 199 yards, including the 55-yard touchdown pass to Bobby Shaw. They talk about the opening possession on offense for each team to start the third quarter. Jaguars had a productive opening possession, got a field goal to make it 21-10. Now Bledsoe and the Bills will get the ball. The kickoff is hit down to Antonio Brown, the flyer. And Brown is taken down to the 22. Very good special teams play, an area that was absolutely awful last week for the Jaguars. DJ Slaughter made that tackle.
And there you see Drew Bledsoe's numbers that you just mentioned from the first half. No interceptions, stay away from the negative plays, and Travis Henry getting on track. Not very many yards. He was more productive early on, but now they've shut him down late in the second half. And Josh Reed, the guy every Buffalo Bill we spoke to named specifically as needing to have a big day, he's off to a good start.
Very good start. That'll open it up for Moulds if he keeps catching balls. Bledsoe with a long count on first down. They go to a draw. Travis Henry, a tackle breaker, breaks one, but not 2 and 3 tacklers. He's knocked down for a loss on the play of 3 yards, back to the 19-yard line.
Well, as you mentioned, Don, the first series of a half is important for both offenses. It's also important for the Jaguars defense. They need to make a stop and get back in this game and give Mark Brunell the ball back. Jack Del Rio got his head coaching opportunity because he took a bad defense in Carolina and made it into a great one.
Number 2, yeah, the tacklers there were Danny Clark and Fernando Bryant on the last play for the loss. So now Bledsoe points out possible blitzers to his offensive lineman. Second down and 13. Bledsoe steps out of trouble, takes a look downfield, and throws the ball away wisely as a very good defensive coverage is on the field. Bracken's putting pressure on. So now the Bills faced with 3rd and long yardage. Should they not convert, the Jaguars would get it back on a punt, probably in real good field position.
Well, we mentioned this in the first half. You know the offense is clicking when everybody's touching the football. Bobby Shaw with 2, Josh Reed with 4, Moulds with 3. It's exactly the kind of distribution that Drew Bledsoe would like to have. I think that keeps him productive. Look at the yardage, too. All the yardage is fairly similar. And that's a sign of an offense that's clicking, at least in the passing game.
Bills need a click now on 3rd down. They've completed 3 of 5 third downs, but this is a long one. 3rd down and 13. Here comes a blitz. Bills pick it up. Bledsoe airs it out. Open man. What a catch! Bobby Shaw, the man who kept the drive alive, and is a late hit, it looks like. A 17-yard gain. A flag is thrown after he's knocked out of bounds. So this could be a 32-yard gain if they tag on 15 after it.
They're going to tag on 15 on Donovan Darius. He horse-collared him and came across with the clothesline, whatever you want to call it. It was out of bounds. As Shaw was going out of bounds, he hammered him across the side of the head with the inside of his forearm, and that's going to cost the Jaguars. And that's one thing they did not want to happen.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 20, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Watch here at the end of the play. This is Shaw right on the inside. He's going to come out, and this is Darius coming and make the play. Watch his left arm. You see that, and that's the penalty. And it should be a penalty.
Darius telling us yesterday, Double D from Syracuse, that players have to be accountable to their teammates. That's not what they expect from one of their leaders, Darius. And it is a first down, a 32-yard gain on the catch and the penalty. And now protecting the ball is Travis Henry. Drew Bledsoe told us yesterday that playing Jacksonville is a very different challenge than playing New England. He said Jacksonville's a very physical team, tries to beat you up. Against New England, it's a chess game. They're always changing their defenses. Yeah. And, I remember Dick Vermeil telling us last year, he said teams that play Jacksonville,
you got to play them twice.
He said they get beat the next week because they're so beat up from playing them.
That's right. Jacksonville lines up and says, come and get us. Here we are. New England tries to say, see if you can find us.
Spread formation now, open backfield. They split out the tight end. Mark Campbell with that great catch in the first quarter. Bledsoe looks, he throws. Mark Campbell coming off the far flank, and he's down with the ball at the 39-yard line. So they do indeed go to Campbell again, a gain of 9 yards on the play.
Mark Campbell's going to look back at this game film and say, you know, could you give me a pass pattern where I don't get hammered right every time I catch the football? He'd take the first catch of the game. Was an absolute highlight reel probably for both teams in the fact that he got up and walked away from it for the Buffalo Bills after the reception, and then this last one caught the out route and took it in the mouth again. But you got to like the fact that he's hanging on to the football and moving the chains down the field.
Free agent the Bills picked up from the Browns. It is now third down and less than a yard. Bledsoe looking, long ball, no one near it, and the receiver wasn't even looking back at it. Eric Mold, that could very well have been picked off.
That was a miscommunication. Drew Bledsoe got into trouble and really threw that one away. He was hoping that Eric Moulds could turn around and look, but Moulds was nowhere near the fact that the point where he was ready to look back and expect the football. He was watch as he sees the rush coming right up into his face, and he was just hoping for some help. Good play by the defensive front of the Jacksonville Jaguars, getting in Bledsoe's face.
So now they go long ball on third down. Now on fourth down, it's less than a yard. High back is Travis Henry, and Bledsoe calls a timeout. So the Bills gamble on hitting another deep ball on a third and short. Now they find themselves on fourth and short when we come back.
Fifth. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wachovia Securities. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Staples, everything you need for back to school. Staples, that was easy. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Fourth down arises for the Buffalo Bills on the 39-yard line of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Greg Williams looking on and across the way. Defensive specialist Jack Del Rio, the head coach of the Jaguars. Eye set. Eye back is Henry. Lead blocker is Gash. They're going to throw. Bledsoe looks. Dumps it over the middle. It looks, is it incomplete? No, it looks like he might have caught it.
Sam Gash caught it.
Caught it.
Caught it. What a gun. Drew Bledsoe threw that ball about 4 yards as hard as he could, and Sam Gash came up with it. Watch how hard. Forget touch. Sam Gash right up through the middle of the line. He's just going to turn around, and Drew Bledsoe feels the heat right into his stomach, and that is a key fourth down conversion.
Huge. And the Bills' first possession of the third quarter stays alive after the Jaguars open with a field goal drive. Travis Henry, you see that physical, tough, hard-hitting Jaguar defense. Paul Spicer, 95, comes over and knocks him down.
That's the difference in the game right there, Don. The Jacksonville Jaguars have stopped the Buffalo Bills running game, and Buffalo has not been able to stop Fred Taylor.
They did early, but Taylor's been starting to build yards and will as the game wears on. This is very important now that offenses that can control the ball, run a lot of plays, multiple play drives, keep the other defense out there at a big advantage. This wears people out. Heat index in the 90s. On second down, a draw play, and Travis Henry is taken down in a brilliant open field tackle by Fernando Bryant, cornerback out of Alabama, and also Jason Kraft, 29, the guy who was victimized last week.
Yeah, Jason Kraft got right by Bobby Shaw. He knifed in so fast, Bobby Shaw could not make that block. And when you have a running game, especially in a draw play, your wide receivers have to block, and Bobby Shaw just flat got beaten to the inside, and that was the downfall of that play. Great play by Jason Kraft.
Well, Kraft got beat last week for 2 touchdowns on passes. They'll be going after him again. Bledsoe looks, stands in, lets a long ball go. He's got a guy, and it's Eric Moulds for a touchdown. On a phenomenal 37-yard play as Bledsoe hangs in and hangs in. The rushers, the blitzers coming at him, and then somehow off his back foot lofts the ball over 45 yards in the air. And it is Fernando Bryant. It looks like it was beaten on that one by the great Eric Moulds.
You know, it doesn't even look like Eric Moulds is running hard. He kind of takes a couple of half steps in and then just turns it up, and the ball is right there. A little post and go, and Fernando Bryant flattened off too much on the post break and got caught on the go. And Drew Bledsoe, anticipating the break, put it right on. Fernando Bryant trying to jump the post route, got burned.
Lindell hits the point after. So the Bills with a sustained drive that was aided on the personal foul call against Donovan Darius that extended the drive in that single play 15 yards. Now take command of the game 28-10.
Lemonade, Mr. Long?
Sure.
Donovan Darius, his personal foul after the first down catch by Bobby Shaw of the Bills extended the drive. It was a 32-yard play in total. And then on the payoff end, it was Moulds catching the long ball, 37-yarder. As Bledsoe's numbers, Steve, are pretty impressive.
Yeah, 16 for 22, 263 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Now the kickoff comes downfield. Brandon Tofield runs it across the 30 and works his way out to the 34-yard line. And there Brunell and the Jaguars offense go first down and 10. Sundays this fall on CBS, Catherine Moore stars in the next great crime drama from CSI executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer. Don't miss the premiere of Cold Case. That's 2 weeks from tonight, right after 60 Minutes. A tremendous new show. The world's leading hitmaker, Jerry Bruckheimer, a lifelong Detroit Lions fan.
Well, he's got that going for him, I guess. At least something's going. At least something's going bad for him. Everything else is winning.
Unbelievable. Here is Brunell now in the shotgun on first down and 10. And a catch to Brady, the tight end, and he is caught this time by Nate Clemens with a shin-high hit that sends him spinning. And there's a gain on the play of about 7 yards.
You know, Don, you and I were talking about it's so important in this game. It's a cliche. You got to run and stop the run. Well, you know you're going well when the Bills' offense is good enough to stop Jacksonville's running game. Jacksonville is going to very quickly be unable to run the football because they're going to run out of time.
And that's right. They'll take the clock can take Fred Taylor out of the game as they go to him on 2nd and 3, and he's knocked down by Takeo Spikes. An interesting thing about Takeo, number 51, is his coach at Auburn, Terry Bowden, said one of the most complimentary things I've ever heard anybody say about a football player. He said he's not only one of the best players we ever had at Auburn, he's one of the best people.
Yeah, he's a leader. He's a very vocal, fiery competitor, and you need that on your football team, and the Bills got it with Takeo Spikes.
Fred Taylor breaks tackles, and Taylor always works his way for a first down. I tell you, the Spikes jerseys, that's a good market for them now. There's a lot of those around Jacksonville today. A lot of Bills fans here.
A lot of Bills fans down in northern Florida today wearing 51 jerseys, but Spikes couldn't stop Fred Taylor on that last run. That was all Fred Taylor, just hopping, breaking foot, shoestring tackles, and getting the first down for Jacksonville. And they don't want to see Takeo Spikes off the field for any reason.
From the shotgun now, the veteran Mark Brunell in his 11th year, the former Rose Bowl MVP with a quick left arm. He throws a strike to his tight end. Kyle Brady makes a catch for a gain on the play of about 4 to the 50-yard line.
You got to wonder
Winfield again.
How Antoine Winfield's going to feel tomorrow morning. He's made
Probably great.
4 or 5 tackles that are just absolutely physical as they can be, and they were all seemed to be on Kyle Brady, the 6'6", 280-pound tight end. And Winfield has not let up at all here deep into the second half.
Brunell under center on 2nd down and 6. On the run to his left. He throws well this way. That time he's got to throw it away, and he's hit late. Be a 15-yard penalty against the Bills for a late hit on the quarterback.
It's going to be Pat Williams roughing the passer. As Brunell threw it, he threw his arms and landed on Brunell's back, and Brunell tumbled out of bounds, and that'll draw the flag every time. If you see the quarterback throw it, don't even touch it.
Swing his arms and shove the quarterback out of bounds into the bench area. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It doesn't look like much, but that's going to draw a flag every time. Every time, and it's not much. But that's not a play you can make.
Now you touch the quarterback. They're a high priority, the marquee players.
Well, you know, it's tough too. You got a guy like Pat Williams who weighs 320 running after him. You know he's not going to go over there and not hit somebody.
No, he has the girth of an alderman and a lot of speed to go with it. It's hard to stop that big body. Brunell on first down. You got to watch this guy. He gets his team back into games. He's crafty. Throwing a catch and a drop by Fred Taylor. Wide open. Defense was beaten. Taylor, who is an all-right pass catcher, not a great one, but when he gets the ball in his hands, yards after catch are phenomenal.
Well, usually you say he's pretty good, but you have to say he's just all right after that, because that was right where it needed to be. And if he catches that moving like he was, that was going to be a big play.
Like
that's nothing more frustrating for a quarterback than to step up and pull the trigger and have somebody just plain drop it.
But he was so open, you think he might be going back to it soon, as we now have 2nd down and 10 coming up. New formation. Looks like 3 wide receivers left. Here's a big rush, and they sack Brunell. Takeo Spikes. He had 2 interceptions last week in his first regular season game as a Bill. Now he gets a spike.
This is a sack. I'm sorry, Don. This is a sack caused by a defensive call. Takeo Spikes, they have a gap in their protection. He's not accounted for. He's Bledsoe's man, and Bledsoe has no chance. When the ball's there, so is Takeo Spikes. Brunell did all he could do to even try and make an effort to get away from him. But that's a huge loss on a drive that the Jacksonville has to capitalize on.
3rd and long. Last week, the 2 interceptions he had in one game. First time a Bills linebacker had done that in 13 years. Darryl Talley had 2 interceptions in a game at Cleveland back in 1990. Greg Williams not a happy trooper at this point, as there's a timeout called on the field. Bills in command 28-10.
Seventh.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM, official information technology partner of the NFL, and by FedEx. You can always rely on the ultimate in reliable shipping. Relax, it's FedEx.
Don Cricket with Steve Tasker back at Alltel Stadium in warm, sunny Jacksonville, Florida, where the Bills have a 28-10 lead. The Jaguars have the ball with 3rd down coming up, and they need 17. Bills have to play in the heat of South Florida next week against Miami. It's a payback for that, though. The Dolphins have to come to Ralph Wilson Stadium December 21st. Brunell needing a lot of yards. The heat's on. He lofts the ball and just throws it away. And now a penalty marker is thrown in the middle of the field.
The offensive line were running down the football field. Something was up, as Brad Meester was all the way down the field, about 15 yards down the field, running after something.
But he was open.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 63.
He was ineligible, but he was open.
4th down.
Yeah, and that won't cost him, because that was, it'll be 4th down. But that's, I don't know what was going on. I don't know. He must have thought Brunell had broken contain, was going to lead him down the field.
Indianapolis Colts off to an impressive start. 20-7 lead over Tennessee today. We mentioned earlier teams that start 2-0 in the 16-game season. 2-0 starts lead to the playoffs 61% of the time. Teams that start 0-2 make the playoffs 15% of the time. Bills looking to go to 2-0. Jaguars trying to avert 0-2 today. Beautiful punt hit downfield. It's going to be out of bounds at the 1-yard line. That's about as good as you can do it on special teams. Chris Hansen, who was the AFC's top punter last season, hits a 41-yarder, and it's down at the 1 by Redmond.
Redmond batted it down, and then it bounced up and hit him and ricocheted out just inside the 1-yard line. Great play by the special teams.
Used to be your business, covering those.
In 2 weeks.
There is the punt coverage. It's brilliant. They knock it out of bounds at the 1.
I'd rather be lucky than good, Don. Bounced right off his helmet.
Yeah, now we go to live action from the 1-yard line. The Bills look to get breathing room as they slam it straight ahead. Drew Bledsoe having a terrific day, making throws all over the field.
Drew Bledsoe finding Eric Moulds, Josh Reed, and Bobby Shaw. This is the touchdown to Bobby Shaw, the big one in the first half, just before halftime. And then Eric Moulds on the post and go. Drew Bledsoe's lighting it up in Jacksonville.
Moulds is just an overmatch for other players. He's so good.
If they get Moulds in one-on-one coverage, they'll go to him every time.
2nd down and 8. They hand off, and Travis Henry does well to work his way to the 5-yard line with 3rd down coming up. On December 7th of '97, Drew Bledsoe led his then New England Patriots into Alltel Stadium. Bledsoe went 26 of 35, 74%. As the Patriots beat Jacksonville 26-20, it was one of Drew Bledsoe's 13 career games where he completed at least 70% of his passes.
So it's nothing new here in Jacksonville for Drew Bledsoe. And now finally, Don, this stadium's starting to feel a little bit like a home opener as this crowd comes alive.
This one's big. 3rd down and 6. Jags jumped, it looked like. No flag. Now one's thrown, and an open ball is thrown to Eric Moulds, who crosses midfield, crosses the middle of the field to the 15-yard line, where Fernando Bryant brings him down after a 9-yard gain. If the play goes, it's a 1st down.
Offside. Defense. Number 99.
The play.
The penalties decline. 1st down.
This is the point, Don, where the Bills, all preseason, all offseason, this is the time they've pointed to. When they get into a game in the second half and have an 18-point lead, they want to be able to hand the football off to Travis Henry and just wear down their opponent and have a ball control offense and be patient and get yards with the run game. As at this point in this half, they have not been able to get anything out of their run game. We'll see if that continues.
And Bledsoe, Steve, 17 of 23 for 273 and 2 touchdowns. Another long ball. Josh Reed comes back at the ball.
Flag down.
And a penalty marker's fired in. He was interfered with. This will be an enormous penalty signaled against the Jaguars at their 44-yard line. This, of course, is not pass yardage. This is penalty yardage. But it's a lot, and Coach Williams is pleased with it.
And sometimes you throw it up and you get lucky.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 25. Automatic 1st down.
Fernando Bryant covering Josh Reed. Your watch here as he gives the little out move and then breaks right behind him, and there's the ball in the air. Now watch as he goes up for it. Bryant bangs into him. As Darius tries to go by, he can't make the play, and Bryant thought he was going to and went right through Josh Reed to do it, and that's a penalty.
A big penalty. 42 yards is marked up. So it's 1st down to the 43. Bledsoe. Gone. Quick timing throw to Eric Moulds. Takes on the corner, knocks him back, and he's ahead for a gain of close to 10 yards. He'll be out of bounds after a 9-yard gain.
You can hear the defensive back, Jason Kraft, yelling that Eric Moulds put his hand up in his face. Eric Moulds, when he catches that short route, the DB knows, whoever he's playing against, he knows he's going to get a handful of Eric Moulds. His hand is coming right up to his face, and he's going to bench press him right out of bounds. Moulds tried to do that right then to Kraft, and he didn't like it.
He got ahead for 9 yards doing it. 2nd down and 1. High back is Henry. On a draw. Travis Henry. Good defense. And there's a loss on the play to the 42-yard line. So instead of it was 2nd and 1 on the play, now it's going to be 3rd down and a long 3. Danny Clark makes the stop, who's been playing very well in every area from scrimmage and on special teams.
You talk about Eric Moulds and how physical he is. This guy came out as a first-round draft pick, and it took him about 2 years to find himself. He was an excellent kick returner as a rookie, but then when he finally did become a starter, as you see there, he's just gone over 100 yards. When he finally did become a starter, he blossomed faster than anybody I've ever seen. He stepped onto the field on the day he became a starter and was a difference maker.
His 22nd career 100-yard receiving game. Bledsoe hitting 75% of his throws. The numbers build. This could go. Turning it up. And now out is Eric Moulds, and he's down to the 4-yard line. Absolutely a tour de force with this great receiver, combining with the brilliant throwing of Bledsoe. A 32-yard gain on the play.
This ball looked like it was going to get tipped. Watch as he comes through. You may not be able to see it, but watch as it comes through. 2 guys jumped for it and missed, and then it's off to the races. Eric Moulds is a phenomenal athlete. He was a Division I basketball player. This is the kind of guy Drew Bledsoe's throwing to, and watch the cool head Drew Bledsoe comes with. Just flicks the ball out, knows Donovan Darius is going to be there, puts it right on the money with a guy in his face. That's a good offensive play right there on both ends.
It's a 32-yard gain on the play. Now Travis Henry looks at the end zone, heads down close to it. He goes in. Henry cracks the plane. And this phenomenal play of the Buffalo Bills continues as they build their lead to 34-10 with the extra point coming up.
This is one of those strange games, Don, where you're thinking, man, this is a battle. We got to keep playing. And then you look up at the scoreboard, it's like 34-10. How did that happen? It really has been a much closer game physically on the field than it shows on the scoreboard, but that's the way it is in the NFL. When your offense can get in the end zone when it's down there, you win.
And Travis Henry putting up touchdowns at a record pace. He has scored 5 touchdowns already this season, 3 today. The extra point is hit up and good, and so now the Bills have outscored their opposition this season. What is it, 31-0 last week? They've outscored them 66-10.
The second time in his career Travis Henry scored 3 touchdowns in a game. And this second half has been a rough one for him.
See, we're going to take a moment for today's NFL Interactive poll question, which is, down by a touchdown with 2 minutes left, which of these active quarterbacks would you want in the huddle? Favre, McNabb, Gannon, Manning, McNair, or Bledsoe? Cast your vote at NFL.com. Bledsoe's going to be getting some votes today.
I'll take that right now. I'm going with the hot hand. Can I be a front runner?
Yes, you can. Perfectly acceptable.
I'll jump on that bandwagon. 8 plays, 99 yards. What a drive. Remember that started on the down punt inside the 1-yard line, and they went 3 minutes and 46 seconds, the length of the field.
Bledsoe over 300 yards passing for the day. Did you know, Steve, teams that look ahead in this league are teams that get beat. The Bills with a lot of tough games coming up next week at Miami. Following week they have Philadelphia coming to Buffalo. Later in the season they got some very tough road games at Kansas City. They play the Giants in the Meadowlands, play at Tennessee, and of course late in the season, December 27th, they play at New England. It's a long road to Houston, but it is not early to start thinking about it when you're playing this well. That's where the next Super Bowl 38, which you see on CBS, is being played. When you assess this team, you look for a weak point in the Bills, and I don't find one.
I don't think so. They have really stepped up and covered for each other. When the offense couldn't get it going, they muffed a fake punt in the first half. The defense got to stop. Although it led to a touchdown, the next series the defense got to stop. The Jaguars just have not been able to answer the scores by the Bills offense, and this Bills offense is playing a lot like it did in the first half of last year, where it got off to such a blazing start. You see Sammy Morris staying down on the field, the special teams captain for the Buffalo Bills.
Sammy might be just exhausted. A lot of guys are going to be before this is over, and it only gets hotter next week for the Bills. We'll now look at a quarterback comparison in Bledsoe's numbers. He's had a lot of great days. This is one of the best. 19 of 25 for 314 yards and 2 touchdowns.
As we mentioned at the half when we looked at the statistics, Brunell has 3 of those completions by Brunell were for negative yards by great plays from Antoine Winfield.
One of the winning stats in pro football is the average per attempt, and when it's over 10, rarely does a team lose.
Yeah, over the course of a season, rarely do teams get over 8 yards per attempt over the course of a long season. It kind of comes back down to to that level. If you get over 10, you should be in the Super Bowl.
This week on CBS Survivor Thursday, the new castaways think they have time to prepare for the game. We're throwing them overboard with just the clothes on their backs. It's the wildest Survivor yet. Don't miss the 90-minute premiere, Survivor Pearl Islands, this Thursday on CBS.
As we talk about how this Bills offense is doing, Drew Bledsoe has just thrown for his 34th career 300-yard day as Sammy Morse walks off under his own power. Brunell has completed 15 passes, but 9 of those completions were for 6 yards or less. And that's the reason they've got no yardage in their passing game.
Bills looking pass, spread out their defense. Their safety's going way back as Brunell sets up in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Quick throw over the middle, nicely done, makes a connection to Cortez Hankton, a rookie. He's ahead for an 11-yard gain and a first down, but the time factor is starting to wear on the Jaguars. Down by a lot with 38 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
It's interesting to note also that for the Buffalo Bills, Kevin Thomas is now in the game, along with Josh Stamer, 2 backup players who normally don't play on regular down and distances. The heat is probably taking its toll on some of the starters as they sit them down and give them a chance to catch their breath.
Brunell, here comes the rush. Makes a throw, way overthrown as he throws intended in the direction of his fullback Mark Edwards. Bills getting wide pressure. They're really coming with a wide rush here, Steve, trying to keep him in the pocket because he's so good rolling left and throwing.
Yeah, they don't want Mark Brunell to be running around back there. They want to keep him in the pocket. And if he does feel pressure, they want to make sure that it's from his front side, from his left side, so that he has to run to his right to open his shoulders and make a difficult throw down the football field if that's the case. They don't want him running left and throwing to his left.
Here is Brunell making a throw, and he's off target as the Bills coming with a lot of heat, combination rushers, and Takeo Spikes is threatening to hit him virtually every passing down. Big Sam Adams, after he ran for that 37-yard interception, Ralph Wilson, the 85-year owner of the Bills, said before that, I thought I could outrun Sam.
Well, he found out differently, and this was, interestingly enough, before the game, he told Eric Moulds that he was going to return an interception for a TD this year, and he thought, didn't know when it was going to happen, but it happened in game 1. He had said that in training camp to his teammates and then reiterated it right before they walked out for the opening kickoff, and he got it done.
Now Brunell gets out of trouble and throws it and just has to throw it away as he's hit just as he releases the ball. Close to a late hit as he's being haunted by the Buffalo speed. Josh Starner getting a rush there.
Well, now you can see the difference it makes when Jacksonville has no chance to run the football. Mark Brunell all of a sudden is in all kinds of trouble back in the pocket, and that comes from having Fred Taylor taken out of the game plan because of the score and the time of the game.
You see 1 second left, and Chris Hansen ready to punt the ball. Directional punter, left puts it to the near side. It'll be run back though by Antonio Brown. Darting and ducking and getting ahead to the 29-yard line, and a return of about 9 yards, but a penalty marker's thrown in after the tackle. See if it's a blocking foul, a 46-yard punt. 9-yard return.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 22, 10-yard penalty, first down. That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Referee Terry McCauley, some backup runners are going to get a chance to win a letter today in the 4th quarter. The Bills will look to run that clock. Now a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 38.
Media.com.
The Bills for a 2nd straight week dominating their opposition as they lead 35-10 count Now the Bills will go to a ball control offense looking to run fourth quarter clock. Bledsoe at quarterback. And the handoff. Very little gain. The key for the Bills at this point is to hold on to the ball. We're coming to you from very warm Jacksonville, Florida. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. Bills a dominating team through 2 games. As a former Bill Super Bowl player, how good is this team?
I don't think we know yet. They've had some problems today.
We got some indications.
We have some indications they could be pretty good. They haven't gotten their run game going like they wanted to, but Drew Bledsoe's been on fire, and when the defense was called upon, it's come up with big plays. I think interesting enough, neither team has turned the football over today, which I think is a sign of 2 teams that were ready to play, and yet the Buffalo Bills have distanced themselves from the Jaguars.
Another handoff, and the Jaguars are hunting the ball. There's no question about that. As on a 2nd down and 11 play, there's very little gain, and that does not concern the Bills at this point. With the command of the game, Washington has rallied to tie Atlanta now, 24-all. They're still waiting for the return of Michael Vick. Look at the numbers for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, it's. Well, you said something interesting early on, Steve. You said you really know when you're a Super Bowl team when you beat a playoff quality team on the road late in the season.
Yeah, then you know. I mean, you see there their offense, that on those numbers, that certainly tells you this is a team that has legitimate playoff hopes at this point, at this early stage. But that's when you know late in the year. If you haven't been to the playoffs for a while, you'll find out.
There's how a game can start to change as Bledsoe gets an errant snap, falls on the back of the 4.
That is an identical play to a play that happened a week ago. What happened was the ball gets wet, and Trey Teague, the center for the Bills, loses his grip, watches it, slips out of his hand, and just rolls. He just can't get a grip on it. His thumb comes off the ball and pushes it across the ground.
The dreaded ground ball.
That was a tweener in the gap for a single.
14-yard loss on the play, and so now from the end zone, the Bills have to punt the ball. Ryan Moorman, who's good at it, but they're coming with a rush, looking to block. He gets it away and booms a punt downfield. A spiral is hit down to the 40-yard line. Jaguars looking for room to run. This is Rashean Mathis, the rookie. A blocking foul is signaled, then a second one. And so the tremendous punt by Moorman, 56 yards, and then the Bills special teamers come down and hold it to an 8-yard return, but that will all be negated because the call is going to be against the Jaguars, and they'll be set back on a penalty.
You know, you talk about penalties, and I think they really have been a factor, particularly for the Jaguars. I think the Bills, I don't know what the statistics are, but it seems like the Bills have more penalties, but the Jaguar penalties have been devastating. Pass interference calls all over the field.
There are 2 fouls during the return. Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 21. That penalty's declined. Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 29. 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
2 of the same thing. So the ball is positioned at the 36-yard line when we come back to Jacksonville.
Hi, welcome to
September 22nd.
There's an important new part of the Bills defense. The defensive line coach in from Cincinnati, Tim Crumry.
You didn't see him smiling on the sidelines in Cincinnati very much.
No, but he does 1,400 sit-ups a day.
Those guys are
and that's a coach.
And that's a coach.
Some would call that obsessive compulsive. Tim calls it being in shape. Here is a flat pass from Mark Edwards, and he turns ahead for plus yards. Crumry's an amazing guy. They had a chemistry day, the Bills did, when the coach, Greg Williams, wanted each position coach to take his guys out and bond together, maybe go bowling, something like that. Tim Crumry lined up his defensive linemen and wrestled every one of them.
Wrestled them. They made a circle around Tim Crumry, and one right after the other. He wrestled all of them, and they were all laughing at first. They weren't laughing when he beat every single one of them, one after the other.
He's got a 14-inch titanium rod in his leg after breaking his leg in a Super Bowl. The Bengals actually went to a couple Super Bowls a while ago, and now the run up the middle by Fred Taylor, and he is ahead for about 3 yards as the game clock is starting to become a factor with the Jaguars looking to dig out of this enormous 25-point hole.
And Fred Taylor's not where you want to see Fred Taylor, split out wide as a wide receiver. Jacksonville would much rather have the luxury of having him in the backfield handing him the football, but that is not going to happen today.
Taylor, 14 carries for 73 yards. Here's a good throw over the middle. And the penalty marker's down in the Jaguar backfield. We'll see what that call is as it stops the clock with 12:02 to play. Josh Starner continues to get more playing time.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Stamer, a number 57, a first-year player out of South Dakota.
That was the 7th accepted penalty against Jacksonville, giving them one more penalty than Buffalo has. Buffalo 6 penalties for 55 yards. Jacksonville 7 penalties accepted. But those penalties for Jacksonville really hurt. The personal foul against Donovan Darius and the pass interference led directly to scores for Buffalo.
Second down. Brunell needs 17. Here comes the heat again. Wide rush, keeps him in the pocket, throwing a catch with a knockdown for a gain of only 2 or 3 yards. As Hatchett comes across the middle and is quickly taken down by Takeo Spikes.
This is one of the things when you get into a no-huddle offense, Don, the defense really has a hard time. They can't get substitutions in. They have a tendency to go to the same defense time after time after time. That's when you can make some progress.
Brunell with an outlet throw to Taylor, putting on moves, working ahead. On third down, he's well short, but they'll have to go for it on at the 45-yard line. Third down, a fourth down coming up, and they need about 6.
You're right, Don. It's 4-down territory, just under 11 minutes to go.
The Bills front 7 overpowered New England last week. Doing some of that today again.
You see there's the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills is totally revamped. They bring in fresh legs on this pass rush, a 4th and 6. They bring in 3 new pass rushers, but for the Jaguars, it's the same 5 offensive line that have been working hard all day. Fresh legs always beat tired legs.
Some of those fresh legs belong to rookie Chris Kelsey, the 2nd-round pick from Nebraska, number 90, playing at the left end. They really like him and where he's going to be on this team. 4th down, and now Brunell walking back, and a timeout is signaled for. So with 10:38 left to play in the game, the Bills still in command, 35-10 at Jacksonville.
Yes, premiere Tuesday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Circuit City. We're with you. MGM's Out of Time, starring Denzel Washington. And by 1010-987. A rate so low never went so far. 1010-987.
Welcome back to Jacksonville. Jaguars with the ball, deep trouble, trying to avert an 0-2 start, but they need big plays, and they need them in abundance now, down 35-10. Bills left early, but we'll see if there was motion in the Jaguars' offensive lines. There was a false start.
Offense, number 67, 5-yard penalty.
Manawai.
4th down.
And Manawai is an impressive rookie who's earned a starting spot on the Jaguars' offensive line, a unit that Jack Del Rio thinks is highly underrated. And given the quality of the run game they had today against the Bills' defense, you have to say he's probably right. The run game really worked for the Jaguars. The fact of the matter is they had to keep up with the Bills' offense and couldn't do it and had to get away from it.
Bills' offense up to speed early. Opening drive for a touchdown. They've led all the way. Now Brunell takes a look. In trouble, and they'll sack him at the 45-yard line. A 4th down play. Big Ron Edwards was the guy that caught him, 98. As Brunell had nowhere to go, and what was a terrific effort by the Jaguars, except on special teams opening day at Carolina, is all coming apart here today. Every aspect of the game being won by the Bills.
The Jaguars were competitive in the first half. They closed it to a 14-7 after a missed fake punt by the Buffalo Bills. It looked like they were back in the game, but since that time they have not been able to do anything offensively, especially and particularly surprising in the passing game.
And now, Steve, the Bills going to their backup quarterback, Alex Van Pelt. Only 2 active quarterbacks, as Bledsoe's work is done brilliantly today. So he'll be handing off for the rest of the game. This handoff goes to Joe Burns, a powerful back from Georgia Tech. He was taken down. Bledsoe, while he was in there, completed 19 of 25, 314 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And Alex Van Pelt getting a chance to see some action, which I think is important. I mean, you get down And this is a long season, and the more work Alex Van Pelt gets with the #1 offense, let them get used to him in the huddle. Sooner or later, he's going to have to come in and do something for this team to help them win a game, and this is great preparation for that to happen.
Right back to the run, and right back to Burns, who works his way down to the 41-yard line, taken down by huge Marcus Stroud. As Drew Bledsoe told us yesterday, he said, I really feel a family and me like we've been in Western New York longer than we have. They really like living there.
It's been a good fit for him and his family. He's there. He's listening in on the broadcast of the, not of our game. I think he's listening to Kevin Gilbride calling the plays for Alex Van Pelt. If he's listening to us, Drew, wave at us if you're listening to us. No, guess not. You never know what they've got tuned in.
No,
he's laughing with us.
Rock 109 or something.
That's right.
3rd down and 7. Van Pelt from the shotgun. He really knows the offense, and he can complete passes as he gets it to Josh Reed for a 1st down inside the 30. Rasheed Mathis brings him down, but the dominance of the Bills continue.
That gives you a sense of how strong Josh Reed is. I mean, Mathis just got carried for an extra 7 yards. And Josh Reed, for a guy who people named as a guy they wanted to see have a good game, he's done it. I mean, he has come through and caught some balls today and made some tough yardage you see there. That is a great day. 5 catches for 71 yards. Josh Reed coming through like everyone expected and needed him to in Buffalo.
Yeah, last week only 1 catch for 5 yards. Back to Burns as he cracks into the left side of the Jaguar defense on a 1st down carry that keeps the clock running. Our producer today for CBS Sports is Victor Frank. Our director is Craig Silver. The executive producers of CBS Sports are Sean McManus and Tony Petiti. As we now come down the stretch run, 8 minutes left to play in the game and change. And the Bills looking to go to 2-0 and get set to tee it up next week at Miami, which I guess is the Bills' #1 rival. Hasn't it been over the years?
No question. And it's interesting to think about how the Bills will handle, because a lot of new players on the Buffalo Bills who came over, particularly on the defensive side, who are from other teams. Those 4 guys we saw at the top of the show. It'll be interesting to see if they get into the emotion that is the Buffalo-Miami rivalry.
Burns gets another crack at it. Not a big back, but a lot of tackle breaking ability as Burns, at 5'9", 215 pounds, takes the ball down to the 15-yard line. A 9-yard gain on the play.
And that was a nice solid run, as you see there. Mark Brunell watching. There's nothing he can do now.
He knows he's not going to be here next year, and he told us he was disappointed the coach didn't come right out and say he was the starting quarterback this year. And to the media, he said he told it to me, but he never said it publicly.
Yeah, he probably wishes that Jack Del Rio would have said that publicly, and I think Jack Del Rio could have handled it better as well. But as he stands and watches that defense of the Jaguars, they are a dejected and tired bunch out there trying to stop this Buffalo offense at this point of the game. But a lot of their pain was self-inflicted.
Well, Jack Del Rio told us an interesting observation on Friday. He said there's not that much difference between a championship team and a last place team from a physical ability standpoint. He said it's all about leadership and to win, and he was an integral part of the coaching staff on the championship team, Super Bowl winning team at Baltimore. He said you have to have leaders emerge.
Well, this is one of the problems that the Jaguars have had. The personal foul by Donovan Darius. And he is a leader of this football club. And then the pass interference, also another leader in Fernando Bryant, a veteran who made a critical mistake that kept the drive alive. Jack Del Rio took over this team, and he's still waiting for this team for some leadership to emerge. Guys who will make plays and say the right things and do the right things to make the other players better.
He was a former All-American linebacker at Southern California as a collegian, a draft choice of New Orleans, played there a long NFL career, 11 years. And he's gradually worked himself up through the coaching ranks. This is his first head job.
And this Jack Del Rio, linebacker for the University of Southern California Trojans. Kind of a cleanup. Kind of a cleanup sack there. There's some football weather right there.
That's in LA. Can you believe that?
Yeah, a long time. There he is here cleaning up on another tackle for a loss. Alan Pinkett, who was a former teammate of mine. That's a long time ago, Jack. You've been around a while.
Well, he played as recently as 1995. Youngest coach in the league at age 40. Well, actually, the youngest new coach. I think Gruden is still, was he 39?
Yeah.
We're down to 5:19 to play. So emotion builds over this Buffalo Bill team with leadership and talent. Who knows where they're headed?
CBS Tonight.
We're back to Alltel Stadium. The Bills methodically moving the ball again, now with the backup quarterback in, as Drew Bledsoe is taken out after one of his great days, the second highest passing rating for a single game performance by Bledsoe in his career. There's a throw and an incomplete ball down to the 5-yard line. Bledsoe today has a quarterback rating of 144.2. Only game he surpassed that one game, he had 146.8.
Well, he's not going to get any better today with that little earpiece in, listening to the game on the headset. Yeah.
Details are sketchy.
I'll bet that thing's turned off.
So the Bills send out their field goal unit. Right now, everybody's getting a crack at it, and this is Ryan Lindell, who kicked last year for Seattle and very well. He was 11 of 11 last season in fourth quarter field goal tries, Lindell. And he's 1 for 1 in the fourth quarter as a Bill. A 27-yarder. And the numbers match. The Bills extend to a 38-10 lead as Leftwich is going to be coming in, that sensational rookie.
26th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Let's make it real. And by Nextel Direct Connect walkie-talkie. Connect instantly from coast to coast.
And there is Byron Leftwich, the #1 draft choice of the Jacksonville Jaguars out of Marshall University, a guy that threw for almost 12,000 yards as a collegian, the #7 player picked overall. So he can put some pop on that ball.
This guy's having a hard time playing catch with it.
He's not thrilled as guy has to warm him up.
Give me some gloves.
He'll be coming in as the Bills have extended their lead now to 38-10. Here is the kickoff, hit downfield. Sneaks by, and it's picked up inside the 5, and the return man is doomed at the 10-yard line. So Leftwich will have a 1st and 90 to play with 5:06 to go. This guy can throw the ball, though, as you will soon see.
He's got the big arm, and he was very impressive in the preseason. And given the fact that Jack Del Rio wouldn't name his starting quarterback, everybody believed there was a controversy, which Del Rio was quick to point out to us that that was not the case. Mark Brunell was the guy from day one.
And I think that's Sammy Morris down again. I think Sammy's tank is empty, Steve.
I think at this point you're right. This is the second time he's stayed down. And you don't know whether it's a holdover from cramps or dehydration from earlier, or whether it's a new injury.
Well, while Sammy Morris is attended to, we want to remind you that 2 brothers, 1 kid, no grown-ups. Charlie Sheen stars in the new comedy 2.5 Men, premiering Monday, September 22nd after Raymond on CBS.
You know, we talked, Don, about how well things went for the Bills last week. Well, last week they had 319 total yards of offense. This week they've got 373 total yards of offense. Not only did it continue, it got better.
Another tough game, though, for the Bills as Miami picked it up today, handing it to the Jets the last time we saw in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. Right now, with Byron Leftwich at quarterback, his first snaps from center in the NFL regular season, ready to try to lead the Jaguars downfield. They travel to Indianapolis next week to the Jaguars as Brunell, who's been the starter this year, as he was for the previous 8 seasons, every season since they came into the league in '95. An extraordinary success story with the Jaguars under Tom Coughlin, when they, in their second year, came within a game of going to the Super Bowl.
And this is a guy who desperately misses his #1 target, Jimmy Smith. He will be back in 2 weeks, and you got to think that having one more outstanding target will give Mark Brunell some breathing room. And their run game seemed very sound, very confident, but their passing game just went nowhere.
Leftwich takes a look, makes the throw, and the short connection out to the 15-yard line as he gets the ball to his fullback, Mark Edwards. Stamer's on the tackle.
A lot of people in Jacksonville are going to look back and say Leftwich completed his first pass. This may be the start of a long and glorious career here in Jacksonville. A lot of people think it will be.
Hands in, another throw, another connection. This is to another rookie, LeBrandon Tofield, and he's now they're going to rule it off. They wave it off that the ball hit the ground, incomplete. Because again, Stamer was covering on the play.
When you talk about the Bills defense and the day that they have had, it all boils down to the changes they've made interior. The one aspect of this team that is different is their linebacking core. The 3 starting linebackers you see there, who are the 3 starters, are sitting on the bench. Those 3 starting linebackers are so fast, the entire personality of the defense has changed, and the results are obvious.
The results are there. Week 2 is the time when the truth starts to unfold in the NFL. Are the Bills really as good as that 31-0 rout of the Patriots would indicate? And all indications are they are as good. Certainly they were this week as they continue to lead this game by a commanding margin.
Well, they added 500, almost 500 tackles to their defense and almost 10 sacks.
Actually, more than 10. From Steve is Posey.
Yeah, Posey's the guy that you don't hear about because he's not the emotional jumping up and down guy, but this guy can do it all. I mean, he can rush the passer, cover. He'll be out there.
Go downfield. A connection is made as the Jaguars advance for a first down and a throw to George Reister, backup tight end. A 14-yard gain on the play.
And then there's Takeo Spikes and London Fletcher as they're cutting the tape off, getting ready to
warm up the bus.
Warm up the bus. Let's get out of here. And that's a good day in the life of those 2 guys.
Well, they said in the locker room last week after the 31-0 win, the veterans right away started talking about this was nice, but now we focus on next week, right now.
God!
Nobody got overly excited. There is a beautifully caught ball coming down with his Cortez Hankton. So against backup defenders, Leftwich looks as good as advertised. They had a 15-yard throw.
And I feel bad because you know you're going to hear the people, the radio talk shows and all it. Let's see more Byron Leftwich. If we're going to lose Mark Brunell next year anyway, and we're 0-2 already, why not get this guy ready for next year and let Mark Brunell back him up?
That's a thought. I mean, a couple of teams have gone with the rookies, the higher drafted rookies right away, like the Colts with Peyton Manning and the Houston Texans with David Carr. Another throw and a catch downfield as Leftwich continues to find his way. But as you pointed out, Steve, a lot of the great Buffalo defenders are watching this from the sideline.
Yeah, but you see here as Leftwich is out here throwing the football around, having some success. And you said it, Don, a couple of times. If you go 0-2 in the NFL, you're going to make the playoffs 15% of the time. So at what point does it become paramount to get ready and make yourself a better football team for next year?
Throw and a catch. It looked like it was going to be picked up, but Jimmy Redmond heads down inside the 5-yard line. So Jimmy Redmond, who they activated because their special teams were so bad last week at Carolina, and Redmond's a very good tackler covering kicks. Well, today he's catching the ball also. A 29-yard play. Took it away from the defender.
Yeah, Redmond was cut up until last week, and they re-signed him this week. And watch here as he catches it and then makes it up. The Bills thought they came out of the pile with this football, but the official said he was down by contact, and it's 1st and goal.
And to the run they go, and the ball carrier is knocked down at the 5-yard line. Coy Wire comes up to make the play. Leftwich in this drive, his first as an NFL regular season player, has hit 6 of 7 for 87 yards.
And the 7th one was dropped.
Right. 2-minute warning.
Number 25th.
Back to Alltel Stadium, Jacksonville, Florida. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. The Jaguars threatening now for a touchdown, albeit hopelessly out of the game. Trailing the Bills 38-10. Byron Leftwich, the #1 draft choice of the Jaguars, coming in for his first NFL regular season play, completing 6 of 7 for 87 yards. He's the man of the future here in Jacksonville, and the future, if it's not this season, is certainly next year when Brunell won't be back because of his enormous cap number. Leftwich is big. 6'5", 245 pounds. 2nd down and goal. Takes some time. He throws a wobbly pass that is caught. Is it inbounds? They're going to take a look at it. No signal yet. It is a touchdown to George Reister, a rookie tight end from Oregon, the #4 draft choice. So Leftwich's opening drive as a Jaguar against the Bills' backup defenders is a successful one. A congratulatory pat from Mark Brunell.
Not much joy there, but certainly a little bit of satisfaction for the young quarterback. And this is a nice throw to the back of the end zone. Throw to a spot and just let your receiver go get it. And that, it'll be interesting to see, does he get both feet down in bounds? There's the left foot, and he does. Great catch in the back of the end zone by Reister.
And so the point after try is hit up and good. And the Jaguars get a late game production from their rookie quarterback and a touchdown out of it. And they now are down 38-17.
I wonder what kind of makes the guy click and what kind of guy he's going to be. He throws a touchdown. Got it. But he knows what the situation is. That's nice to see. Didn't get crazy. Didn't go ask for the football. Said, we're losing. Let's go. We got more work to do.
Had some injury problems. Didn't he have a fractured leg at Marshall? That was one of the reasons there was some concern, but he's over that. He said he picked up the whole offense right away. So now the Jaguars will kick off. Gives us a chance to tell you that the executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Tony Petitti. Coordinated director is Larry Cavallina. Today's game was produced by Vic Frank and directed by Craig Silver. Senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The director is Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate director of today's game is Sean Gerchikoff. The broadcast associate is Josh Hall. And our technical manager is Tom McCarthy. The technical director is Clark Zabo. And the audio supervisor is Danny Litwin. And we thank them all, men and women of CBS Sports, bringing you NFL football on week 2 as the Jaguars set up now for an onside kick try. Try to hit the high bouncer.
Bad kick.
Out of bounds. Bills will take it over there. And that will be end of story on
Bad
week 2.
kick. Awful kick. Had no chance. And that's one of the things as a rookie, you come in, and Seth Marlar's probably never done that at this level before. That's not acceptable. As an NFL kicker, you've got to make all the kicks, and that's not even close. That ball goes about 4 yards.
Kicked behind his pursuit.
And it's got to go at least 10 before it's even actually eligible to be recovered by his guys. Look at it, he kicks it behind his own guys. And that's no chance. I'm not going to say that if he'd have perfectly executed that thing, it would have made the difference in the game, but it's one more thing that he needs to work on as a young kicker in the NFL.
He can kick it long. You'll be seeing more. And that's Hansen, who is a Pro Bowl kicker, a Pro Bowl punter. And there is LeBrandon Tofield getting his first extensive work as a running back, a rookie. Now the Bills look to run out the clock. On 1st down and 10, they go to the run, and Joe Burns does the right thing and keeps it in bounds. Taken down by middle backer Mike Peterson. As the Bills will go to 2-0 on the season, the Jaguars to 0-2. Miami beat the Jets today 21-10. Bills head to Miami next week.
Big Sam Adams taking a breather.
Nodding off on us there.
Yeah,
his job well done.
The intensity not quite there at this late point of the game.
It was when it had to be, as the Bills built the commanding lead. Their lead was challenged 14-7. The Jaguars had it down by 7 and driving, but a huge tackle by the great young corner Antoine Winfield and Kyle Brady, a huge tight end, for an 8-yard loss, and the drive was subsequently stopped, and the Bills took it the other way, scored 21-7 lead, and in effect the game was over then in the first half.
Well, we just been notified this is the worst home loss the Jaguars have ever suffered in the history of their franchise, delivered here in week 2 by the Buffalo Bills.
Thanks to our CBS statistician Bill George. Protect mode now as they'll down the ball. And a great start for the Bills continues today. I tell you, in this league, any game you win on the road, I don't care who it's against, it's huge.
Football games at this level are just really, it's so hard to win. I mean, you can't count anybody out. Every game can be a trap. Every game can be a blowout on either side of the football. You have to show up and play as hard as you can every week. And the Bills after a stellar start, and a lot of people were fearful that they would have a letdown. Showed no signs of it today.
The Bills have now beaten the Jaguars the last 3 times they've played, but today by a commanding margin. The others were close. We'll be coming back to Alltel Stadium in a moment, where the Bills have just defeated the Jaguars 38-17.
How do you solve a murder?
Definitely arson.
When the witnesses
You look like him. He's the chief of police.
and the leads
You get a good look at this fella?
He kind of look like you.
all point to you.
You got something you want to tell me?
They set me up.
Denzel Washington,
I'm not running. I need Prince ASAP. You okay?
Just do it!
Out of Time. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, October 3rd.
Meet Ray Lewis, playmaker. He's the greatest show on turf and ringleader of a 3-sack circus.
Send in the clown. Better yet, send in the punter.
Think you can improvise and demoralize like Ray?
What you say?
Prove it with Playmaker Control. Only in Madden NFL 2004.
The official game of playmakers.
Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
What can a Tyrannosaurus Rex teach us about a retirement plan? What's big one day may disappear the next. At Wachovia Securities, we learn from the world around us and provide financial advice for those who need to rebuild. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. Wachovia Securities.
There are the final numbers as the Buffalo Bills beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 38-17. So this is a series with a history of close games, but not today. A second week of domination by the Bills. Coming up next, the second games of our doubleheader. New England is Philadelphia. Denver plays at San Diego. Perhaps you'll see Cincinnati at Oakland on week 2 of the NFL season as the Bills get off to a 2-0 start. Don Crookie with Steve Tasker. Overall evaluation of the Bills.
Everything went well for the Buffalo Bills except one botched fake punt, which put them in peril for a few minutes, but they regathered themselves on both sides of the ball and really dominated.
Well, now they go down to Miami again, and Miami stepped it up today. They said they had a win at New York where they lost 6 straight games, but they came back and won against the Jets 21-10.
Sets up a huge division game in Miami next week. It's going to be a battle. Miami said they've got their backs, will feel like they've got their backs against the wall. Even at this point of the season, the Bills are going to have to show up and play their old rivals once again.
Now for Steve Tasker, this is Don Crookie saying so long from Alltel Stadium, where the final score is the Bills 38 and the Jaguars 17. The NFL on CBS continues with more doubleheader action. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 38. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for watching this presentation of
victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blood